What's a piece of advice you received that has stuck with you throughout your life? They can't all be winners. Meaning, sometimes good enough is good enough. I used to work in marketing for a sketch comedy theater. One of the best parts of the job was sitting in the corner as the actors-writers came up with sketches for the shows and pitched them to the room. Some of the sketches would be hits, some would be flops, and some would just be okay. The saying in the room was they can't all be winners, as in, not everything you try is going to work, but we have an entire 90-minute show to fill and it's okay if not every sketch is an absolute classic. My first supervisor was a retired Marine. I was tasked with doing something and I couldn't find a part of what I needed to complete the task. I went to her and said I couldn't find that missing piece and she said, "Did you adapt and overcome?" I sheepishly said no. From that day forward I made every effort to find a solution to my problems before bringing it back to my supervisors and always came to them with a proposed solution if I was unsuccessful. It served me well over the years. Yard by yard it's too hard, but inch by inch, it's a cinch. My nana used to tell me this growing up, because I've always had ADHD, OCD, and some major analysis paralysis that has made starting and finishing tasks much more overwhelming than they should be. It has helped me work with my own body and brain to execute things bit by bit and help me focus too well, rather than overthinking or future tripping because I'm looking too much at the big picture or how will be if something will take. It's basic but don't care what others think about you. I spent years caring about what others thought until I came out as trans. A lot of people hated me but I made an amazing friend because I came out and I wouldn't give them up for anything in the world. I don't care what people think anymore. I'll always have anxiety, but I'll be anxious whether I look normal or if I look the way I want to. Be yourself, it might take some time but you'll find someone who likes you for who you are. Regarding driving, don't be nice, be predictable. You get to an intersection and other driver has right of way but waves you to go, and you hesitate because they clearly have right of way, then you're like, fine, whatever, I'll go. But then they start to go because you didn't immediately go when they waved you and you now jam on the brakes and now they've stopped as well. They look at you and wave you on. I fucking loathe nice drivers. When I was in the psych ward after my first suicide attempt, lamenting my aimlessness and worthlessness, one of my doctors gave me a piece of advice that has helped me with almost every life has thrown at me since. You don't have to know who you want to be, or even who you are right now. I think it may be enough to know what you don't want to be, and work against becoming that. My grandfather, Indigenous Taino, lived in Hawaii for many years as a soldier. He told me something in my teens that has always stuck with me. Preface: wahine is a Hawaiian word for a woman. Son, when you become a man and go out into the world to find a wahine, find big wahine. That way, late at night when you reach across the bed, you don't hunt wahine, you find wahine. My dad worked for the airlines and we had to sit wherever there was an open seat. When I was like 8, this was in the 80s, we were flying back from Europe and this old Navy veteran sitting next to me shows me his Popeye tattoo that was all blurry and faded. He told me never get a tattoo, and even as tats have become so much better and so common, I always think of that. Tuck your undershirt into your underwear, and then tuck your dress shirt into your pants. It's all about the layers and it keeps things all together, preventing you from getting that puffy shirt look as it gets untucked throughout the day. My dad told me that after 30 years. What else is he keeping from me? Anyway, it's a game changer. Respect elders, keep place clean, not to look or talk down on people who have less than you. Be generous to people in need, be fair and honest in your dealings, no rumor mongering, do not spend more than you earn, do not keep up with the Joneses, live a simple life, no cursing, keep your nose clean all the time, and read books. Tell the truth. The first time I owned up to breaking something when I was a kid, my dad was not angry. He calmly placed his hand on my shoulder and said, "Good on you for being honest." First and greatest lesson in my memory. X 200b. As Homer said, now for that happy period between the lie and the time it's found out. After waking up, don't linger in bed. Try to do the most annoying difficult stuff as early as possible so you always feel like the day is getting better. If you feel bad, do the stuff that you don't want to do in the meanwhile. You feel bad already, so get all the annoyance you have to feel out of the way at the same time. The public speaking professor said, your body has the same physical reaction whether you're nervous or you're excited. If you're nervous, just tell yourself that it's not nerves, it's excitement. This has helped me not only with public speaking, but with my anxiety and trying to change the way I look at different experiences. Alice in Wonderland: when one is lost, I suppose it's good advice to stay where you are until someone finds you. but who'd ever think to look for me here? My mom and grandma always told me if I got lost to just stay in the same spot after I asked for help. I got lost a lot, smiley face, embarrassed smiley face. As a senior in high school, there are always underclassmen looking at you. One of the teachers noticed a number of young ladies flirting with the seniors, and pulled them to the side. Remember, 15 will get you 20. To this day I look past anyone younger than I am, and I'm 50. Don't pluck your eyebrows. Seriously. When I got my braces off, the dentist offered a professional headshot to celebrate. The lady that took the pictures told me that eyebrow trends will change from thick to thin and thin to thick, and to just not mess with them. Sage words. Be engaged for 1 year but also not too long. The mindset can shift when you're officially on the way to the rest of your life together. Random advice from my mom when I was like 15, and it's really stuck with me. My parents have been together almost 40 years. Hard. From my grandma: when you're married, share everything with your husband. If all you've got is a peanut, he gets half. She was a young wife during Depression, and even though my husband and I have always enjoyed better economic times, her advice still applies. Everyone is going to tell you how you should raise your kid, just listen and smile, but only take the parts that work for you. Nobody knows it all and no situation will be the same, so don't worry that you're not doing it right, just breathe and do your best. The 5-year rule. If something has you mess up, before you act you figure, will this problem situation have any lasting implications on your life in 5 years, then act accordingly. Petty shit falls to the wayside and you can focus on real problems. You will get lots of second chances in life if you make mistakes or fail at something. There is one instance where you do not get a second chance and there is no do-over. It is how you raise your children, so don't screw that up. Warren Buffett: never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity. It helps prevent me from taking things personal, and I find the world is a gentler place when my temper takes the view of bless their heart over what a bitch. From dear old dad, passed on from his dad. Some people would rather eat well, some would rather sleep well. In other words, some people are spenders and some are savers. It's their nature, and fighting about which is better is worthless. I was toiling away at work, when a very much senior person said, "It's a nice day. My work year is done. I'm going outside." Granted, our work environment was a bit flexible, but that stayed with me. Good on you, Will. It's better to keep your mouth shut and be thought a fool than to start talking and remove all doubt. Inevitably, the people in my life who seem to be the biggest morons are also the ones who never stop yammering. 401k. Back in my 20s, my boss at the time told I should put in at least the minimum 4 to get the max 5 contribution from the company, and to increase my contribution by at least 1 every time I get a raise. Seen on a random LinkedIn comment. It's more difficult thinking about it, than it is actually doing it. I have tendency to overthink, a lot. This helps, and I have it as my home and lock screen. My grandpa: you have to work hard for your whole life, that way you can provide for your wife and kids someday. Yo me, what did I get out of it? Grandpa: well, one day you get to die. From my dad: live your life for you. Don't have goals based upon what everyone else is doing or what their goals are. Only you know what will truly make you happy. Love him for this so much. I don't wish for you to be happy. I want you to be at peace with who you are. Happiness is fleeting, but when you're at peace, it will carry you through the darker times of your life. Love accepts all things, except abuse. As someone who was forced with deeply religious values from the worst parents, this really helped me through a lot from a religious teacher too. If someone tells a sexist or racist joke, don't laugh, just look at them and wait for them to explain it. They will dig themselves into a deep hole trying to explain why it is funny. Some people don't deserve our hope. Hope for change. Hope they get better. Hope they see the error of their ways. When someone shows you who they are, believe them be. I'd rather be a duck than a donkey, or grant me the serenity to accept things I can change, courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference. Sometimes, it's better to hire the person that you can stand working with for 12 hours a day over the more qualified candidate. People skills can go a long way. My grandfather told me when I was like 18, it's about the sizzle, not the steak, in relation to having sales jobs. Years later I actually realized what he meant. From my dad: no matter what's going on in your life, good or bad, you don't have to look too far to find someone who has it better or has it worse. Always listen to your gut instinct. If you have a bad feeling about a person or a situation, there is probably a good reason you feel that way. A sign I saw in a Jimmy John's during a rather stressful period in my life: some days you're the pigeon, and some days you're the statue. When picking a prospective partner, look how they keep their car. That is a great indicator of how they clean up after themselves. If a ball bounces into the road in front of you while driving, prepare to stop quickly. For a child will soon be following it. A poor plan well executed is better than the best plan poorly executed. This was from my first martial arts instructor. Accept that there are things in life that you have no control over and try to focus only on the things you can control. Let your conscience be your guide. It's kept me out of some sticky situations but also encouraged me to do good things. Never get into something without knowing how to get out. Everybody can be replaced. They may not do the job as well as you or as fast, but they will be doing it, not you. Ride with every moment until it becomes a memory. Good or bad. We look back on most of them or the journey fondly. When you're driving, assume everybody on the road is an idiot except you, and you'll avoid so many accidents. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. What a better world if we all practiced that! The progress you want to see in your life is directly on the other side of the work you are avoiding the most. If it smells like fish, it's a gourmet dish. If it smells like cologne, leave it alone. Added punctuation. If it isn't hell yes, it's no. Relationships, friendships, etc. That statement has never steered me wrong. Always be honest. Always be kind. Always seek to achieve results, without compromising the first two. Spend money on the things that separate you from the ground. Good shoes, good tires and a good bed. You can't control other people's words and action. What you can control is how to react to them. You can't let the hurt little kid make your adult decision. Which is from Kylie Sonic Love.